This lesson is on joining tables in a select statement so that we can get information together from the various tables and present it in a result set. Now, there are two ways to do a join. We can put the explicit join keyword in a from clause, or we can implicitly express a join in the where clause. That second way is an old legacy way of doing things, and I'm not even going to show it to you here. It's best to use the explicit join in your select statements from here on out. However, if you happen to see a select statement that shows a connecting column in a where clause, that's what they're doing. They're joining. But from now on, we want to use the explicit form. You can only join two tables at a time, and you use the join keyword in the from clause, as I was mentioning. The second bolt down here, the connecting columns in the where clause, is the old legacy way to do it, and you shouldn't use that any longer. So the fact that you can only join two tables at a time means that there has to be more than one joining operation allowed in a single select statement. And you can do that. You can join table A to table B, and then table B to table C. One join at a time, but two joins specified in a single select statement. That way we can get the information together from 3 tables, or 4 or more. This is the very basic join syntax in the from clause. We have our standard thing. We have the select and the select list, the columns we want to see from, and now we're starting to use more than one table. We have table 1, the keyword join, and then the second table. This is a simple case where we're just joining 2 tables together. Now, the curly braces here in syntax land mean that we have to pick one of these. The up and down pipe, that means or in syntax speak. So what this is trying to tell us is you have to use this or you have to use this. And the difference is if you're joining on the same column name between 2 tables, for example, the publisher ID is in our book table and it's in the publishers table. So we can use this using clause and just specify pub ID here. But if we don't have that, if we were joining one column in one table to another column in another table, different name, here, I have to connect them through an operator. This is like saying where editor ID equals author ID, and equals is the operator. Anytime I need to use a different operator other than equals, like something is greater than something else, then I also need to use this on clause, and I have to specify it this way instead of using the shortcut of using. Now here's some examples. Let's look at a very simple one up here. The first one selects the title, which is in the book table, and the name, which is in the publisher table. And you can see in the from clause, I join book to publisher, or book join publisher. And then it's using the pub ID. Let's go ahead and run that. I'm going to copy the statement out of here and then go to the interface, and we'll go ahead and run this. So here we go. We've got the title, the book title, and who published them. It's not in any particular order. I might want to get it in order. I could take the publisher name and put it in the front, put a comma here, take out that comma, and remember that the order by has to be the very last clause we specify, always. Order by 1. Or perhaps a little bit better would be order by name. Let's try it now. So here I've got the publishers in order, and I can see the books that they publish. This is important. It's a reasonable question to ask of the data. Hey, what books are published by our publishers? And the only way we can answer that question using SQL is to join the book and publisher table. But the thing they connect on is the publisher ID. And I'll show you that again in the diagram. Let me go down just a couple of slides. Here's the database diagram. Here's the book table, and it has a pub ID column in it. And the publishers table, primary key is publisher ID. Makes sense that that would be the primary key for this table. But every book, we put a code in there, the pub ID code, to indicate who's publishing it. The technical term for this column in the book table is it's a foreign key. A foreign key is any column or set of columns that points back to the primary key in another table. We often say that it refers back, and you'll hear terms like referential integrity. that something here refers back to here, it finds it. It's not missing. And then the tables or the database is said to have referential integrity. Let's go back to where we were. This was the first example I showed you here. Let's look at another example. I could do it this way. I could say title, name, book, and publisher, just like I did up here. I could spell it out with the on clause instead of the using clause. There's nothing wrong with this. Book.pubid. This is qualifying this pub ID. It's saying, look at the pub ID in the book table and see that it's equal to the pub ID in the publisher table. And that works the same way. You can use aliases to make this process shorter. As we've seen already, we can use the using clause, which makes it even shorter. But if these column names here were not the same for some reason, we could use aliases. And here's how I do it. I have book T, I could say T or B, something mnemonic, just a little abbreviation that I define. Put space and I put the abbreviation there. Join publisher P. So now I can say on T.publisherID equals P.publisherID. It's actually a little easier to read that way than to put in the full table names. In a real-world database, sometimes these table names can get quite long. They can be 30 or 40 characters each. And then these on clauses get harder to read. It's really better to take the shortcut. It's not just saving you typing, it's making things easier to read. This ends part 1 on using joins. I'll pick up with this lesson in the next one.